In this particular video, I am going to explain the application of tau function. A tau function is used to determine the number of divisors of any number with the help of prime factors. Now this particular question which I am going to solve is a past WebG question, and it's basically based on series and sequences, that is AP, GP and HP, but it has the application of tau function. So here goes the question. Let Dn denote the number of divisors of n including 1 and itself. Then D225, D1125 and D640 are in AP or in HP or in GP or in consecutive integers. Now here Dn denotes our tau function, which helps us to find out the number of divisors of any particular number with the help of prime factors. For example, first of all we need to find out D225. That means we need to find out how many divisors are there for 225 or how many factors are there for 225. So for this we will start with the prime factorization. 375, 325, 5 5s are 25, and then we have 5 1s are 5. So 225 is equals to 3 square into 5 square. Okay, so that gives us D225 as, so we have 3 to the power 2 and we have 5 to the power 2. So D225 will give us 2 plus 1 into 2 plus 1. This is how the D function or the tau function works. Like if say if a number a can be written as p to the power say c into q to the power d into r to the power e, then d of a gives us the number of divisors of a, and it is written as c plus 1 into d plus 1 into e plus 1. So here 225 can be written as 3 square into 5 square. Therefore D225 will be 2 plus 1 into 2 plus 1. So this gives us 9. That means there are 9 divisors of 225. Similarly, we can calculate for 1125. Let's start for 1125. Let's start with the prime factorization. So 3 3s are 9, 3 7s are 21, 3 5s are 15. This is 125 and this is 5 25s are 5 5s are and then 5 1s are. Therefore we can write on 1125 as 3 to the power 2 into 5 to the power 3. Therefore D1125 will give us 2 plus 1 into 3 plus 1. That will give us 12. So there are 12 divisors of 1125. Next we will find out for 640. So let us do the prime factorization of 640. 2 320, 2 160, 280, 240, 220, 210, 25. So therefore we can see that 640 can be written as 2 to the power 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Therefore it's 7 plus 1 into 5 to the power 1. Sorry, this will be this is 1 plus 1 and this will give us 16. Now here we can see we have D225 as 9, we have D1125 as 12 and we have D640 as 16. Now if we do 12 square we will get 16 into 9. Therefore we can say that 12 is the geometric mean of 9 and 16. Therefore we can say that D225, D1125 and D640 are in GP. Therefore our answer is option C. Thank you very much. Next I am going to solve a tricky problem, an interesting problem on probability, which is based on Bayes theorem. We know that Bayes theorem is based on laws of total probability, and laws of total probability is again based on conditional probability. Conditional probability is something that we use when we have to find out the probability of one event considering the hypothesis that something else has occurred prior to it. So this sum is an advanced sum which is based on Bayes' theorem. It is taken from Emil Agarwal, and this type of problems often come in WebG and Git. So let's start solving. So here goes the problem. A man is known to speak truth 4 out of 5 times. He throws a die and reports that it is a 6. Find the probability that it is actually a 6. So let us first of all define our events. Let us take E1 as the event of the person or of the man speaking truth. Of the man speaking truth. Let us take E2 as the event of the man speaking lie. Event of the man speaking a lie. Now, it is given that a man is known to speak truth 4 out of 5 times. So, probability of E1, that means probability that the man speaks truth, is 4 by 5. Probability that the man speaks lie or the man speaks a false statement is 1 by 5. Why? Because out of 5 times he speaks truth 4 times, then 1 time he speaks false. So P of E2 is 1 by 5. Now it is given that he throws a die and reports that it is a 6. So let us take another event, say A. This event denotes whenever the man reports a 6. The man reports a 6. Therefore, we can say that P of A, considering the hypothesis that E1 has occurred prior to it. So what does this notation mean? This notation means that we are finding out the probability that the man has reported 6, considering that he is speaking the truth. So that probability will be 1 by 6. Why? Because when a die is thrown, then there are 6 outcomes that come up: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, out of which 6 appears only once. So the probability of 6 to appear when a die is thrown is 1 by 6. Now here it depends on another factor, that is whether the man is speaking the truth or the false, or is speaking the lie. So if I take P of A considering the hypothesis that E1 has occurred prior to it, so that means I am finding out the probability that he has reported 6 considering that 6 has actually appeared. So that probability will be 1 by 6, which is the reality. Next we have P of A considering the hypothesis that E2 has occurred prior to it. What does that mean? This means that we are finding out the probability that the man is reporting a 6 considering that he is actually speaking a lie. In that case, we have to find out the probability of 6 not to appear. So that probability is 5 by 6. So here P of A considering the hypothesis that E2 has occurred prior to it is 5 by 6. But what are we given to find out? We are actually given to find out the probability that it is actually a 6. So the man has actually reported that it is a 6, but we have to find out the probability that it is actually 6. So what we have to calculate is P of E1 considering the hypothesis that A1 has occurred prior to it. So here the question is that we have to find out the probability that he is speaking the truth considering that 6 has actually appeared when he has thrown the dice. So before that we have to actually find out P of A by using laws of total probability. So by law of total probability, we can say that P of A is equals to, we know that by law of probability we can write it in this way: P of A is equals to P of E1 into P of A by E1 plus P of E2 into P of A, considering the hypothesis that E2 has occurred prior to it. That is equals to 4 by 5 into P of A, considering the hypothesis that E1 has occurred prior to it, is 1 by 6, plus P of E2 is 1 by 5 into probability of A, considering the hypothesis that E2 has occurred prior to it, is 5 by 6. If we simplify this, we will get 9 by 30. So this is the probability of A. What is A? A is the probability, A is the event denoting that the man reports 6. So A denotes that event whenever the man reports a 6. So probability of the man reporting a 6 is 9 by 30. Now we have to find out probability of E1, considering that A has occurred prior to it. That means probability that the man is speaking the truth, considering that 6 has actually occurred. So probability of E1, considering the hypothesis that A has occurred prior to it. We know that by the laws of conditional probability, it is P of E1 intersection A divided by P of A. We can also write down this numerator as P of A, considering the hypothesis that E1 has occurred prior to it, into P of A whole divided by, this will be P of E1 this will be P of E1 and this will be P of A. Now we have all the values, we just need to substitute. So P of A, considering the hypothesis that E1 has occurred prior to it, is 1 by 6 into P of E1 is 4 by 5 whole divided by P of A is 9 by 30. If we simplify this, if we solve this, we will get 4 by 9. So the answer is 4 by 9. Therefore, the probability that the man reports a 6 and it is actually a 6 that has appeared after throwing the dice is 4 by 9.